Yo, what's going on? It's your boy G-reg. Man, we back with another video. Today we are reacting to what did I just... My bad.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not the gap.
We are reacting to Evil Dad realizes cops found his disturbing secret. Dr. Insanity.
She's not back yet? You mind if we take a look in her bedroom?
Has she ever disappeared before?
She doesn't not text me when I text her.
What does she normally take with her when she leaves?
Her bag, her phone.
That phone's not in here.
Not that I found.
She didn't talk to you that far around. Aren't you here last night? Or night before or anything? Any reason she would leave?
No.
There's rumor going around, people telling us that she's straight to home.
This is the moment Andy McCauley realized police were on his trail. Just hours earlier, his girlfriend's daughter, Riley Crossman, suddenly went radio silent, and police were quickly called to come and investigate. At first glance, it looked just like a messy teenager's bedroom with nothing out of the ordinary. But as the officers scoured through the clutter, unsettling details began to emerge.
I said the book back. Debbie said she wore it. She said the kids already went through everything.
They would find items that a teenager might typically take if they were planning to run away. But as they begin to look even more, they start to notice blood. Blood was on her sheet, and more was found on her comforter. The cops were now certain that foul play had occurred, and something terrible happened to Riley. As they try to piece together the puzzle, police find themselves entangled in one man's web of deceptions and twisted lies, all crafted to conceal his one single disturbing secret. On May 8, 2019, dispatchers received a call from a concerned woman reporting the disappearance of her 15-year-old daughter, Riley Crossman. As officers arrive at the scene, they come into contact with the caller, Chantel Oakley, and her boyfriend, Andy McCauley.
What's going on, man? Been seeing you in a long time. Any word? You mind if we take a look in her bedroom?
Has she ever disappeared before?
She doesn't even She doesn't not text me when I text her. This is the only mirror we have like this, so I came in yesterday morning, and I don't remember that being there. And especially her glasses, because this is not exactly the way it was. I've been in here digging and looking to see if there was a note or anything like that.
According to Riley's mother, this was unlike her, and she wasn't one to run off without telling anyone. A quick search of her room revealed that her belongings were untouched, except her bed, which was covered in bloodstains. This was highly suspicious, so officers quickly took a sample and sent it off for DNA testing. But for now, officers need to gather as much information as possible from people who last saw Riley, so they decide to question Andy about his whereabouts that day.
Didn't talk to you that far around. Aren't you here last night? Or night before or anything? Any reason she would leave?
No.
There's rumor going around, people telling us that she's straight to home. I don't know if that's... Well, yeah, how people do now, but
No, there's nothing like that.
okay. So,
She wouldn't have to be here. You know what I mean? They're right. They ain't like that.
yeah,
Never like that.
this is nothing.
Yeah, I'm only home.
Right.
She's at work.
Yeah, you. They said that she got already been.
No.
They didn't want to come home.
No. She was at grandma. She was here doing dishes and everything. Grandma's here till 7:30.
Okay.
Debbie.
Right.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw her?
Like 9, maybe 10ish.
At night?
Yeah.
And what context was that?
She was here in the house. She went to bed by, well, I don't know what time she went to bed, but she was, all the kids were in the room by like 9:30.
Did she leave in the morning?
No, I got 4 o'clock in the morning. That's 5.
Okay. Go to work.
According to family and friends, Andy was never an early riser. In fact, when police interviewed one of his colleagues, Johnny, he stated that he had to go to his house and repeatedly call him to wake him up. But on this particular day, things were different.
I'll call him and see if he's up.
So that morning, you remember he called him or he called you?
Wednesday morning. I want to say he called.
But But this was not the only strange thing about Andy that day. He also told police that he was at work all day, and when cops interviewed another one of his colleagues to verify his alibi, they found out that Andy had left work and was gone for nearly 5 hours.
And he gets back at roughly 2:45. So he was going a while. 4, almost 5 hours.
Because of this, detectives now know that Andy hasn't been completely honest with them so far, at least about staying at work the full day. This is very clearly a red flag and means that he's trying to hide something from them. But Andy might not be the only one hiding something, as officers would find out when they decide to look into Riley's boyfriend, Hayden. For the last 8 months, the two reportedly FaceTimed every night, so officers believed that if anyone was in contact with Riley the night before, it would be Hayden, and he was soon called in for an interview 2 days after Riley went missing.
Can you just tell us when you were last FaceTimed?
I was actually talking to her about the DC trip that I was going on.
And could you know exactly what time?
10:30ish.
On the night of Riley's disappearance, it just so happened that Hayden deleted all his messages with Riley because he did not want his mother seeing them. This is why detectives could tell that Hayden knows something, but because of his mother's defensiveness, he's unable to speak his mind.
I've told him before not to delete his messages, but he isn't kind of deleting everything.
What do you know about her longer lifestyle?
Or with her relationship. I feel like she doesn't want a responsible person. She'll just let her do whatever she wants. They had a dance, and she was wearing this short dress. She let her walk to the school by herself in this short dress. It's at night. Riley had way too much freedom.
Although this interview was not too fruitful, it pushed Hayden to come forward with a crucial piece of evidence afterwards. A series of disturbing text messages that Riley sent to him the night before she disappeared, saying that Andy was in her room and that she was scared. Immediately, all suspicion was further confirmed around Andy, and officers would later use this information to piece together this dark puzzle. But for now, finding out Andy's actual whereabouts and what really happened during the 5 hours that Riley was missing is crucial to the investigation, and the reason why Andy would be called in for questioning.
I hope he's 15. Baby girl.
Would you be surprised if he told me something completely different? Maybe.
The bespoke AI Family Hub Plus refrigerator with AI vision inside.
Bro, if your house looks anything like that, man, if you live in a house that looks anything remotely close to that, you're a freak and you need to get outside, you nutcase lunatic.
Do you not remember leaving that job site down at Red Hill? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We did go to I'm sorry. We did. You're right. Okay. You're right. We did go to it shell. How long were you there at Red Hill? Like the rest of the day. Okay. The rest of the day. Okay. Were you at that house the entire time fixing the shelves? No. Okay. Where were you at? I was at the other house. Okay. We went to got some more drugs.
If Andy was off doing illegal drugs during those 5 missing hours, then that could possibly explain why he didn't initially tell the cops the truth about where he had been all day. But this also could just be his way of trying to distract the police by bringing their attention to something else. At this point, detectives know that Andy is desperate to give them an alternate alibi, and his drug story could possibly be true. So to cross-check, they would call in Johnny again. Johnny had a history of drug use, and the two would often do cocaine together, so he could easily substantiate or discredit Andy's account.
Johnny boy.
Still doing another line each? Oh, yeah. A couple lines each? Oh, yeah. Okay. So you wouldn't have to... You didn't need any more coke? No.
So now, Andy's story about going to get more drugs isn't adding up. His colleague had already told the cops that they had more than enough cocaine to get them through the rest of the day, so there would be no reason for them to go get more drugs.
And you know what's crazy, bro? They're going to find out this information and just never do anything about it. They're going to find out there's cocaine
Realizing that Andy has been lying, the police decide it's time to confront him and get to the bottom of his deception.
What if I told you that I know you weren't messing up, though? And you didn't buy those off anybody that day? See what I'm getting at?
We went from this story to this story, and I want to get a third story. This is one of these times you really need to think of what you're telling me. Okay, because you're not being honest. Remember I told you
Campbell?
you're honest and I'm not going to just throw shit at you? I know you weren't there. I know you didn't buy drugs off your cousin, and I know you didn't use it in that parking lot that day. Where did you go when you left?
Went to the house to get the drugs.
Okay.
I already had them in the house.
Okay.
I already told you to tell. I still want to tell you I had them in the house.
So you go back home, you use your drugs, and then you go back to work, and then what?
Considering the discrepancies in each version of the story he tells officers, there is more than enough reason for officers to not trust Andy, like they would express.
I'm just telling you the whole part about you being honest.
I'm being honest with you. I've been honest with you. I told you the shit that I didn't want to tell you.
Okay. You're being somewhat honest. I mean, we're doing some polling to get some information about some drug activity, which is us. I don't even give two shits about, but yet we're having trouble pulling that out of you.
Because I was worried about the people names out there.
Okay, and I told you I don't care about that.
I didn't say that.
You told us about drug activity, what, 2 nights ago?
I did.
Did I arrest you for it?
Your names or anything?
The main reason for detectives pressuring Andy like this is because a record of his movements is crucial for this investigation. Usually law enforcement can just track a suspect's movements using their phone, but in Andy's case, he had supposedly left it at home the day that Riley went missing. Knowing that the more leniency detectives show to Andy, the bolder he would become in giving shady alibis, detectives decide to ramp up the intensity of the conversation, even more to make Andy nervous and slip up about his real whereabouts.
The further along this is, whatever happens, and whoever it is, the worse off you guys for that person too.
Yes, hope so.
She was probably taken out of that house by somebody.
Yeah, I feel something that she was taking that one out though. Because she'd be on by now. She would be your mom.
She was taken from that house, is what I'm saying. She didn't wander off. She didn't pack bags, take her clothes, take her glasses, take a cell phone charger, take all her money. She had most of her money. Someone's gonna go.
Like still go back.
Yeah. So like I said, if someone's gonna run away or do something, they're gonna make a little bit better effort. Even for a 15-year-old.
I agree.
For a 15-year-old kid, they're gonna at least have the necessities.
Even after explicitly stating the absurdity of the situation, Andy seems as calm as ever and won't crack about where he really was. But even in this situation, detectives have one piece of evidence that would cause the pressure to mount on Andy: the texts that Hayden had showed them. Once confronted with these, Andy's behavior changes immediately.
What if I told you her last text to her boyfriend were saying, don't talk, because she still has to FaceTime one? Andy's in here. I'm afraid.
That's what it said.
What if I told you that?
Honestly, that's crazy.
I can put my hand on the Bible and tell you I saw those texts today.
Well, obviously, because I know probably it scared me. I know she was.
Not only that, she said you were in here, and she was in her bedroom, because the FaceTime was stolen.
I was never in her room.
That's not what she's saying.
I don't go in her room.
And you're not lying to you.
I was not in her room, for one. And for two, the kid's not scared of her. There's no reason for her to be scared. I've been there for a year and a half. Taking care of her, using her these meetings. What we're saying, like, I get that. I hear what we're saying is that's what she's saying. So obviously to her, he's afraid of something.
The walls are closing in on Andy quickly, and he's no longer able to keep up with his lies. He can't think of any possible reason why Riley would be afraid of him, or any explanation for why she would have sent her boyfriend those texts.
There's no way. There's no way you can ask your mother. The mother will tell you that it's not true. There's no
I'm telling you, I read that with my own eyes today.
No. I
So you see where that puts us.
Yeah, I understand, but the kid's not scared of it. I don't understand how you guys can say that.
Despite
Oh,
the
sorry,
physical
Dada.
evidence, Andy continues to
I'm not gonna
insist
lie,
that
this
there
one's
was
long
no
and boring,
reason that
man.
Riley would have been afraid of him. Perhaps he thinks that if he denies this enough times, the cops will simply move on.
That's not. That's what her mother said.
That's what she is saying.
She's saying that's why we're saying that. We don't know what goes on
Excuse me.
you and Chantel are there, or Chantel and Riley are there.
Chantel, man.
Obviously, in her mind,
Chantel, man. That's when you have too many kids, you run out of names right there. No offense to any Chantels.
At this point, the cops have given Andy an opportunity to come up with any sort of explanation at all, or even a lie. This would have been his chance to point towards something that may have happened in the past, even as simple as a disagreement between the two of them, as a possible reason Riley would have written these things. But Andy is not taking the bait.
She didn't hate full toward you? Did she hate you?
No. She don't hate me. She loves me.
Someone asked me, I don't know that. Does she argue with you?
No, ever. We have
She never cussed at you, cursed you out, nothing.
Never, nothing. A year and a half, nothing.
Okay, so it sounds like to me she does love you so hardly.
Yes.
Okay, so why would she say that?
I don't know. A year and a half, we have not had one conflict.
Okay.
Me and the boy, yeah. We have.
There's never been anything, like you said, a year and a half or the last several weeks, several months, several days, nothing that's, you're like, oh yeah, I heard one time she wanted this, and I told her that, okay, shut up, and she's
Nothing.
Thursday Night Football. It's on Prime. This week.
Shabuzi's a one-hit wonder. Get that man out of here, bro. He ain't no country
would
artist.
attempt to try and convince
He's
the
a hip-hop
cops that
artist.
he shares the same sentiments as them.
pretty see where that puts us, right?
Yeah, I understand what you guys are. I'm not mad that you guys are doing your job.
I mean, that's the last message he has from her.
I'm not mad that you guys are doing your job. I know you do your job, but there's nothing I can think of.
She wants to do her job, that's what we're doing.
I'm asking you to job up. I'm not mad. You guys don't know. Guys, I think you're a little pissed off, but nothing. There's nothing that I can think of. She'd be mad at me or she'd be upset with me or scared of me or anything would be.
Can't go in that room?
No.
She still had FaceTime one too.
I can't go out with anything wrong.
The cops lacked probable cause at this time to
What does that
arrest him,
mean?
but there
This
is
is a
one
FaceTime.
piece of evidence
Excuse me.
that is about to
Hey,
change the
police
course
officer,
of
you have
this
to be
entire
recording, screen recording for
investigation.
anything
It
to be
was
recorded, my
around
boy.
this time that the lab results on that blood sample would finally return, and it would be an exact match to Andy's DNA. But that's not all. They also learned that the blood they tested was also mixed with saliva. This made the cops suspect that Riley's face may have been forced into the pillow in an attempt to keep her from screaming. This is an important development, but they still haven't located Riley, and they need to find more information
I don't feel
about where
comfortable
Andy
looking at
was
teenage
for
girls,
the
bro.
missing
Get that.
hours. Luckily,
Oh
though,
my
all of that can be
God.
answered in the CCTV footage that captured all of Andy's movements. There were cameras attached to a nearby high school that captured Andy McCauley leaving his work site. That was the starting point of the investigation for the cops. They knew the direction of his travel, including the fact that he was on Route 9. An eyewitness who knew what Andy's vehicle looked like was able to confirm that she saw his truck backed up into the driveway of Riley's home in the middle of the day when he should have been at work. At this point, the cops believe that Andy killed Riley during the late night or early morning hours, likely to keep her from screaming while he assaulted her. They believe he then hid her body in the bedroom until everyone left, and then later returned to the house when it was empty to pick up her body and dispose of it, using CCTV footage to guide them, and with the help of police canines trained to pick up Riley's scent, they search a nearby mountainous area. It is there that they tragically find Riley's decomposing body left in a secluded area. While this is the outcome that nobody wanted, it marks the turning point in the case.
R.I.P.
Where
Riley.
Riley's body is found, there are several unique-looking screws discovered. These are the same screws that were located when the cops had searched Andy's vehicle the day previously. This is even further evidence that solidified the case against him, and 8 days after the discovery of Riley's body, Andy is arrested and charged with her murder. He pleaded not guilty. In the trial, Andy's defense argued that the prosecution failed to provide a clear motive or definitive cause of death, as the exact cause could not be determined due to the body's decomposition. Despite this, the jury found significant evidence linking McCauley to the crime, such as the presence of drywall mud on Crossman's body, which matched the drywall found in McCauley's truck, and inconsistencies in McCauley's statements about his whereabouts on the day of Crossman's disappearance. The jury deliberated for about 4 hours over the course of 2 days, and decided that the monster who murdered Riley was none other than Andy McCauley.
We, the members of the pettit jury, as to the issues joined, find the defendant, Andrew J. McCauley Jr., as follows. Count 1, murder. Guilty of murder in the first degree.
Finally, justice for Riley had been served.
R.I.P.
The
Riley,
only thing
man.
left was for Andy to be sentenced. The judge presiding over the case sealed his fate by giving him 2 life sentences. He will never see the light of day as a free man ever again, and most importantly, he will never be able to hurt another innocent child.
Hey, good case. Good outcome. Well, no, my bad, Riley. Not good outcome. But yeah. that is going to do it for this video. And that is going to do it for this stream, man. It is a gloomy, gloomy, gloomy day. And it is 1 o'clock. And I do have some plans in a little bit. So I am going to have to end stream and end the live and end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love every single one of you. If you're on YouTube and you see this, make sure to follow and like. We are on our way to 50 followers. And once we hit 50 followers on YouTube, we will be going live on YouTube while going live on Twitch. I love every single one of y'all. I will see y'all later. Peace.